So you are here to understand some tricks to crack an interview. You are at the right place. Cracking an interview is basically an art. I'm a data scientist and a big data developer as well. These techniques, whatever I tell for those folks who wanted to get into data science or maybe big data engineering, whatever techniques I say hold well software related fields as well. So let's begin. Okay, number one, there were times right from my college I was placed in a service company. I was put in a night shift job. So what happens when you come out of the college is like, if you go to a service company, probably you'll be forced to go get into some projects. You will not have that independence to choose whatever you want to. Time flew by. It was 1 year, 2 years. At the end of second year, I felt like, okay, let's go and try interviews outside. The mindset I had was like, let's go and try outside. Let's see if we get it. And honestly, that's the biggest mistake I did. So whenever we try for an interview, we should try it wholeheartedly. We should be 100% prepared, train ourselves 100% that yes, I'm going to go out and try for a new job. Yes, being firm on the decisions, that's the first point, right? We should be very, very serious that I need a job change. I definitely need a job change. That should be the mindset. If you try with a mindset like, let's try, let's see what happens. No, the probability of getting a job is 0.5 and the probability of getting a job with this mindset is just 0.25. So it's much lesser. Be serious. That's point number one. So we come to point number two here, and this is, we'll have to create a list of companies which we want to get into. If you are in a service company, you'll have a dream of getting into some product companies. If you're in some product companies, you might have a dream of getting into some FAM companies, maybe Microsoft, Google, whichever you are. And maybe if you're part of this FAM group already, you'll definitely have a dream of probably going to a startup or preparing your whatever you want to do. Like, okay, that's the point number two. That is, make the list of companies you want to get into. So you are motivated for a job change. You are desperately looking for a job change. You know the list of companies you get into. What's the next thing? The next thing is to assess where do you really stand. Like, okay, I have a dream of getting into Google or Microsoft. Do I really have that skill set to get into them? So how to assess where do you stand? This is the point I'm making before any preparations begin, right? You are not prepared. You are where you are. You are just doing your daily job. The first thing you can do is you can actually try out random interviews. Not in big companies like Microsoft, Google. Probably try in a smaller companies, maybe a startup or some service companies. Try to see how can you crack that interview. That's one of the ways to understand where do you stand. Another way to find where do you stand is asking for a mock interview. Yes, that's right. It's a very underestimated technique. Get in touch with your close friend who's technically good. Ask him to conduct a serious mock interview, and you should be 100% serious about the interview. You should actually feel real interview coming in that mock interview and see, like, are you really able to answer it or you're not able to make it. Trying out interviews outside and asking for a mock interview. These are two different ways by which you can self-assess where do you stand. So after this is done, you'll know where exactly are you. Do you need better preparations? Are you already above that mark? Or are you way below this mark? It's time to assess. Once you get an idea like where do you stand, you have to make sure you step up your game. You reach that levels before you actually go and try those list of companies which you want to get into. This may be a 30-day process, 45 days process or 60 days process. It all depends on your commitment, dedication towards learning new things and getting up to the mark. So next point, the next very important thing is build your networks. So you know the list of companies you want to get into, you have self-assessed yourself, you have a plan to step up your game and reach to that levels. Next thing is build your contacts. There are various ways you can build a contact. From LinkedIn is the best source you can ever get. A little underrated way is the Facebook groups. There are a lot of Facebook groups regarding FAM or whichever your company you want to get into. Join those groups, connect with people, be friends with them professionally. I'll tell you why. I've seen a lot of influencer posts saying like, do not get into bluff stuff, directly ask for a referral. No, that's not the right way. Find out very close friend of yours working there, or maybe a mutual friend working a company you want to get into. Try to understand what is the job description, how is the company culture. Thing is like on an upper note, we can see the company is really great. For example, Google, we see, okay, it's an awesome company to work for, but there are different type of jobs inside. Probably once you get into Google, you might not like the work you're doing there. So that's very important to build that personal rapport between the employees who work there and try to understand what actually the job description is. Being a friend, a person will let you know what are the internal states of the company. Maybe you are trying to give an interview for Team X, and this person probably will try to get in touch with some person from Team X and try to understand what is the job requirement. Is it something you're looking for? Is it a data scientist job? Is it an individual contributor job, or is it a UK time shift job, etc. So awesome. So now you are really motivated. Point number one. And point number two, you know the list of companies you want to get into. Point number three, you have self-assessed. Where do you stand? Like, are you technically fit to try the interview process? Fourth, you have prepared a plan of 35 to 40 days to step up your game. And point number five, you have built enough networks in the company you want to get into. Next, again, we have to go back for the mock interview. Here's the point, like you need to ask a seriously technical friend to conduct a serious technical interview with you. I do not suggest going back and trying all the companies again because it takes its own span of time. You'll have to select one awesome technically strong friend of yours and ask him to take your mock interview. Be 100% genuine, because cheating there is cheating yourself, so you are not going to gain anything out of it. If you feel you are 70 to 80% confident, I believe you should go ahead. There's no scenario in this world where one person is 100% confident for an interview. So somewhere between 70 to 80% confidence, you can actually go and try for the company which you listed for. So what happens if you are not 50 to 60% or 70% confident? I believe you have to go back, step up the game again, restart the dedication. Yes, once you are 70 to 80% ready, the next thing is you'll have to ask for a referral. I know it's nowadays that's the only a go-to solution. Like you getting picked up from LinkedIn or some job website is 1 in a million chance. So ask for referrals with the friends you connected earlier. So your resume is sent and you get an email that you are shortlisted for an interview. What next? This is a very important phase of your interview. Like you know there is an interview coming up, and normally what happens with companies is they send you an email saying like this person will be interviewing you on this and this day. Now here's the catch. Normally you know who is the interviewer. Companies will send the interviewer's name maybe a day before or his LinkedIn profile. What I do is normally like I try to see like what exactly is this person doing. Like is he a VP? Is he a manager? Is he a developer? Is he from the architect positions, etc. So why do I do this? The main thing this helps me is like it helps me to understand what to prepare for next 2 days. Yes. So once you get the interviewer name, try to understand what is his profile, right? I would tell this, learn to spy a bit about this person who is going to interview in next couple of days. Try to understand what is his position, what is he good at. Nowadays, LinkedIn is really awesome, right? You actually virtually come to know everything, like what is a person good at. So why should you do this? Because if an interviewer is good at probably architectural skills, it's definite that you are going to get architectural related questions in the interview. Imagine it's a data structures round and interviewer is probably an architect with a slight data structures knowledge. So do you expect him to go and ask questions like trees, heaps, etc.? Probably not. You can expect questions like memory management, scalability, sort of array questions only. You cannot expect questions like trees, heaps, etc. That's one way of assessing can an interviewer ask you that question. Another example being if an interviewer is a hardcore developer, he might be a major senior developer or a principal engineer. So what type of questions you can expect? Will he go and ask you what is an array? Definitely no. You have to expect some serious hardcore programming coming through from the interviewer's profile. That's how it helps you. The interviewer profile helps you estimate, like it helps you understand what type of questions might come. This is a very underestimated technique, but it helps a lot. Spy the interviewer and try to understand what is he good at. Awesome. So maybe a couple of days remaining for the interview. The next thing you'll have to do is you'll have to collect the actual questions that might come along. I know that when you just search Google interview questions, it shows you hundreds of billions of websites and I strongly believe that is not going to help us anyways. The best source for getting interview questions is GlassDoor interview questions. Like a lot of people would have posted their actual interview questions there. Like just go to the interview sections, search this and just shortlist all the questions, write down in some notepad or copy paste into some text pad. There's another awesome site called Blind, B-L-I-N-D. This site has some problem. It needs your organizational email ID to log into. I wouldn't suggest you to log into this site using your organizational ID because your company might spy at your email and probably ending up losing a job or getting a warning from your security team. So GlassDoor and Blind, these are the two important places where you can get actual interview questions. Okay, so during the interview, this is a slightly underestimated topic, but communication, right? Communication can make wonders. So communication can get you a job even though you are probably not that par to the company standards. With your communications, you can actually drag or make an interviewer feel awesome about what he's asking for. Okay, there might be a scenario where I do not know the questions or do not know the answers. Still, you can make an interviewer feel awesome just because of some awesome communication skills. Okay, so you have an interview schedule. There's one important thing you have to remember. Like, no one is perfect, so we do not know all the questions that interviewer asks for. Like, we do not know the answers for the questions. What to do when we do not know an answer to the question? Do we blindly tell no? Now, this is a very tricky thing. Some interviewers, if you tell them blind no, that hurts them. You have a very high chance of losing an interview if you tell a plain no. So what to do in that situation? It's the tone which matters. It's the tone which matters. I'm repeating this again. It's the tone of your no matters, and you'll have to make sure with the no, you'll have to accompany with I will be able to study this or read this in very short amount of time. With the no, you'll have to always accompany yes, I can do it after some preparations or study. That's how you'll have to do it. That's how it is. Like if the interview goes really bad, that's your experience. That's your experience. Feel ashamed about it, because unless you feel ashamed about it, you are not going to kick your ass and start preparing again. What happens normally is like a lot of people have told us like, okay, failures are building pillars for success, right? But what happens after a failure? We go out, enjoy outside, probably take it lightly, continue in an organization. That's not something which you have to do. With the failure, feeling ashamed is the only way which kicks you in to prepare more. You'll have to self-assess. Despite so much preparations, I lost the interview. That means something wrong in the way I prepare. Go back, self-assess, gear up again, try again next time. Awesome. So next, if your interview goes well, maybe 3 or 4 rounds, right? It's very common nowadays. You do not listen back from HRs or recruiters after maybe 1 or 2 weeks. The interviews are done, but you still don't listen back from the recruiters. So what to do in that case? My personal experience with Amazon and a couple of other companies is like, it took me 3 to 4 months to understand, did I clear the interview or not? Like that's how slow the process is. So in my personal front, if you feel you have cleared the interview, you feel you have cleared all the rounds awesomely, probably wait for 2 to 3 weeks before, if the HR doesn't come back. But make sure you follow up every week. Like there's a chance like HR may ignore your email once, second times, and if you feel you are not being responded even after 3rd week, you have to move on, guys. No, it's not like we'll have to keep waiting for an offer. If that offer comes, that might come in the future. Go try other jobs. That's how it is. If you do not get a response by 2 to 3 weeks, it's time to move on. It's very, very easy to sit in front of the camera and just keep telling the points. Personally, been through very strange situations. I was in a service company, hated my job, sat back, self-assessed, and prepared for the interview. Got into a really good product company, and recently I moved on to a startup. So I hope this content actually helps some people.